Hello, everyone. I've been thinking a lot about my single purpose token taker computer that's solar powered and whether or not I should build it and what its purpose should be if I do build it. And it occurred to me that something like that has a replenishing resource that could be used over and over again, right? As the sun is out, it charges the battery. Then as people use the device, it drains down the battery. It occurred to me that this might be an excellent chance to deploy a local LLM that has a more targeted focus, right? So it's not the AI you go to learn how to build a giant business and fit into the existing global economy. However, we could make a local LLM that is the trusted friend you turn to with questions about how to get food, water, shelter, and healthcare. And it doesn't really do anything beyond that. It doesn't make flyers for you that look cool. It doesn't tell you how to find car insurance. And it doesn't help with your education, really. You can't really ask it to solve your math homework. However, it would be a repository of very basic knowledge about food, water, shelter, and healthcare. And I think that's a pretty big job for a small, locally running LLM. Now, you may think, number one, it's really hard to put together food, water, shelter, and healthcare from an AI model training data set perspective. Or you might ironically say, yeah, you're not solving enough of the world problems with that grouping of four things, right? What happened to education and what happened to clean air and healthy environment? And it's kind of a catch-22 there. So on one hand, just trying to solve those four problems I've listed, food, water, shelter, and healthcare, it sounds impossible, like we'll never be able to get it done. However, I would like to point out that many people do get those four things taken care of pretty well, at least in the environment immediately surrounding me. We do have plenty of people failing at the shelter part because I do see a lot of homeless people. And healthcare, you don't really see those failures because if you're really failing at healthcare, you're probably going to end up dead. And I won't be aware that you're missing. But why constrain myself to such a small problem? Why not deal with education and other topics? Well, there's only so much I can do in one setting. So those are the starting steps, I would say. And I'm not sure if this computer would still need to take tokens or not at that point. I do want it to have like a awareness of how much it physically costs to use it. Maybe that would be better solved by a countdown that shows how many queries are left per inference for each day. And then what stops one person from being greedy? Why wouldn't one person just use up all of the questions? Well, since it has such a limited utility, it can only answer questions about food, water, shelter, and healthcare. It doesn't really encourage frivolous use because once you've used it to meet your basic needs, you're much more inclined to go off and just do the suggestions you might get out from it. I was thinking it would be interesting to really just have it take four basic prompts, right? Like, what happens if someone just types in food? They're very hungry. Just type food, pops back something like a cheap and healthy meal you could get from the grocery store 2 doors away is a baguette with some peaches on top or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it could stick with seasonal produce. But it wouldn't be responding to elaborate questions like, how could I cook a peach cobbler? Because while it is a food-related question, it's not really a immediate need kind of food-related question. So, I don't know, just thinking of ways to expand AI's utility for providing four basic needs for everyone. I could imagine it as an experiment to see which local model might be the best choice for that. That might be something fun to do sometime. Anyways, make sure you like and subscribe for more updates to see where the single-purpose token taker computer ends up. Thanks!